Good morning, my name's Linda and I'm currently in Brisbane, Australia. Welcome everybody, it's wonderful to be here with you this morning. I'd love to come and talk to you this morning about catastrophizing. It's a pretty big element in CPtsd and something that we all need to work towards overcoming. And when I came to read about it and understand it, it finally made sense why when things would happen that were so deeply emotional for me. So in my younger years, when, for argument's sake, for example, I'd have an argument with boyfriend at the time and I'd be like, that's it, this is over. You know, I wouldn't say that because I didn't really talk much out loud, but I would think it, I'd be all emotional and be all intense on the inside and I'd be like, that's it, this is over. You know, can't go on, etc., etc., etc. Pardon me. And if you're looking for a really good example of catastrophizing, I've just given you one. So when things happen, rather than have the order built into us to know how to deal with differences and, deal with our emotions and how to put them in an order, then we will catastrophize, okay? Now, I want to give you a good example. Well, we've had the example of catastrophizing, and as you can tell this morning, it's a bit of a challenge. Catastrophizing is a way of thinking called a cognitive distortion, so it begins in our brain because of the trauma that's affected our brain, okay? A person who catastrophizes usually sees an unfavourable outcome to an event and then decides that if this outcome does happen, the results will be a disaster. So the example I've just gave you of what I would think on the inside when my boyfriend and I would have an argument, this is back in my 20s, is exactly what this describes, okay? So I would see an unfavourable outcome to the disagreement, i.e., oh, that's it, it's over. And then I decide that if that did happen, the results would be a disaster. Okay, so if we break up, that's it, it'll be a disaster. My life as I know it will be at an end. How many people stay in marriages because they catastrophize, because they believe their life will come to an end if they leave this marriage, which is a disaster anyhow? Good thought? Yeah. Actually, okay, we'll stay on topic. I was just going to go down a path of thought processing of how that does happen when we want to leave an unhealthy relationship, whether it's relational in it's a partner or a marriage or, you know, a close, intimate relationship, or it's having to separate from our family, at least for a time out, so that we can heal. We catastrophize about that. We think that if that happens, if we have to walk away, there's so many things that we need to do in that process. So it's not just cut and dried easy. But the ultimate result is we do catastrophize and we do think that it will be the end of life as we know it and we won't cope. What else? Not only will we won't cope, we won't know what to do. Okay, so what happens after I end this relationship? What do I do? So this is why if you're going to do something like that, you need to plan it. You need to have an order that your brain will follow no matter which direction your emotions go. You're able to stick to it, okay? That's a whole other chat show. But today, I really want to talk to you about how we're going to come through catastrophizing, okay? So first of all, we want to develop our emotional awareness, and how you can realize or recognize when you need to develop an emotional awareness is when fear comes, okay? So fear for us, when we've got CPtsd, is a good indicator that we're trying not to acknowledge the emotions underneath the fear, all right? So now what we do once we recognize that fear is running us or anxiety's got us, okay, We sit down, we're going to deep breathe, and we're going to go, right, what is it that I'm really feeling? We've got to be willing to ask these questions, and I know you can do it, okay? We want to label those emotions, all right? If you're in group, I'll put up a chart, and I think I've got it on my blog as well, so I'll connect you into there, of emotions. Because quite often as children, we weren't ever taught how to label our emotions. If anything, we were taught that, one, your emotions aren't valid, all right, so they're not acceptable in this family. And like I've said to you, as a teenager, even though I wanted to have discussions with my parents about my emotions, they didn't, okay? They just labelled me a drama queen, called me Elizabeth Taylor, God bless, and that was the end of it. I used to write letters to my parents about how I was feeling and trying to let them know that I loved them, but this is what I'm feeling, and really it was a cry for help. How do I process this? And I'd leave them under their pillows, trying to get their attention that I wanted to have this conversation. Anyhow, that never happened. So what we need to do as adults is be responsible for labelling our emotions, okay? Use the HALT acronym, okay? So when all of this is happening, am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? And look, I could place bets on this and win every single time that when it happens for me, I'm tired. Now, when we're doing this, it's very healing because we're going to come from our heart center, but our brain gets tired from us exercising our self-control to come from the center of our authentic self, okay? So tiredness is big for me, and I need, and because I have this drive that I just want to do so much more, because when it's taken so much from your life, it's like, I want to do more. I want to be able to do more. But a healthier way to go about it is to go, okay, I recognize that when tiredness sends me into catastrophizing, and I need to go sleep, okay? I need to be the responsible one and go and even go have a nap or even rest, okay? One of the things I recommend for my clients is go and rest. So make a list of what you've got to do after you have a rest, because this gives your brain an order of what you are going to do after the rest. Okay, so it will relax. It'll go, right, the day's in order. We're going to deal with it. Then you put, it depends where you are. I have a really comfy lounge chair that reclines, so I can put low volume movie or a serial on Netflix and not watch it, and it just having that background noise, it's like having white noise for me, and it makes it possible for my brain to be engaged in it, and I can just tune out. I can relax my body, relax the muscles, and I get a rest. But what I do is set an alarm for how long I want to rest for, and then I can get up and get back on with my day. It's honouring our process of healing. It's very important for us to do that. Okay, so when we've done the first three, okay, so we're going to stop judging our feelings, okay? Now this is actually a very hard one, and it comes from the shame and the blame from our abusive childhoods, okay? So now I've learned, instead of just saying stop judging my feelings, because our inner critic does that, what I need to do is look for where I'm blaming myself for what's going on. And it's pretty powerful to stop blaming myself over something that I have no control over. So I have no control over how my CPTSD is going to be in and react and respond and trigger in my day-to-day life, all right? But I am an adult and I am responsible for what I do with the circumstances when I am triggered. So one of the things I'm finding really valuable at the moment is to look for where I'm blaming myself and stop it and go, okay. Because once we stop the blame, we're then able to go, right, what's the solution here? And that solutions usually require action. And as we know, action is more productive in our healing with CPTSD than talk therapy can be, okay? Action gets every part of us moving, and that's a good thing. Okay, validate your feelings. So once you've made your list as well, validate your feelings. Say, this is good that I'm recognizing them. You know, build yourself up. This is a positive, all right? Because it never happened in our childhood. Okay, no one ever validated my emotions. I didn't know how to do it, but now I can teach myself to validate my emotions. If we're upset, calm, deep breathing and ask your brain to relax your body. I was reading about this lately and I was like, how do you ask your brain to relax your body? So I was driving yesterday and I went, okay, I can feel that my body's tense. I can feel that I'm tired. My brain's triggered. Not in an emotional way. I could just feel the tenseness, okay? Kind of like a low-level worry. And I just said, could you please just relax my body? And even now, as I say the words, I can feel this real calm energy run through my body, okay? So give it a go. Practice mindfulness. And as you're practicing being in this present moment, I want you to ask, am I afraid of my feelings, or am I afraid of the feelings that other people are having? It's a big one too, okay? Especially if you're dealing with narcissistic people in your family. Are you afraid of their emotions? And quite often the answer can be yes, but I want you to also know that it's doable to deal with that fear, all right? It's a process, but it's doable. Use some grounding techniques, okay? Think of any of your senses, okay? So even touch. So if you've got carpet and you want to run your fingers over the carpet, it's sensory and it will help ground you. You can go out and walk. It's another sense of touch. Walk on grass. That's very grounding. If I didn't bring one with me, but Sensi have little sachets of the smelly stuff that you can put in your drawers, okay? But they're little square ones. And I used to carry one with me because I'd sniff it at home. It was vanilla. I love vanilla. And then when I was out, I could smell it again and I would feel that comfort, all right? So we want to use as many sensory tools as we can. And that doesn't involve using your taste sense to eat chocolate, okay? The sugar hit will just make you more hungry, which compounds issues, all right? Don't do it. Sometimes we got it though, let's face it, okay? Move your body. Most essential thing we can do in these times is move our body. And I tell you, once we move our body, we do feel the shift right throughout us. And that doesn't mean you have to go off and be a gym nut. It simply means throw on a YouTube video, do some gentle stretches, and you're moving your body. It's good. Dance. Get up and dance at home. No one's looking. Great. Move your body. And if that sticks, move your body. Use your self-care techniques and make sure you're aware if you're attempting to isolate. Isolating is not good for us. It's something that we need to get out of the habit of. Okay, so jump into group, talk to somebody, let them know you're isolating, you know, trying to retreat from the world. But recovery means we need to begin to safely come back into the world. Okay, but emphasis on the safely. Some people have a shower, some people read, some people journal, some people just get out and go for a walk in nature. I love the water. I love to go and sit by the water. It's just beautiful. So do some self-care. Check in with your self-talk. Is your self-talk beating yourself up? More than likely, yes. Okay, and I don't know if we ever get out of the habit of our self-talk being negative, but I'd like to think that one day we will, okay? Practice self-compassion. This week, self-compassion has been one of the biggest things I'm learning to do, okay? Have compassion for myself that I've come a long way, okay? it's a real kindness and gentleness in your heart that you can feel for yourself, all right? Because once we start feeling it for ourselves, we'll feel it for other people too, all right? Think about ways that you can be compassionate for yourself, because then you will, for those in group, you bring it into group and have compassion for others on their journey and encourage them. That way you're getting over isolating as well, okay? And last but not least, check in with a professional, a coach, a group. Groups are amazing for helping overcome CPTSD, okay? Absolutely amazing. There's that connection there, and it's priceless. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in and watching. It's been great to have you with me. If you're here for the replay, do #replay. And for those who are unaware, I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I love what I do, and I love helping people be set free. Okay, bye for today. Have an awesome weekend, and make sure you get up and move that body. Bye for now.